right now at 7.
Intruders hack an online Bay Area church service. Now, tonight, a hate crime investigation is in full swing.
This is uncalled for, and we demand justice.
She's not surprised about it. I'm not surprised. We're not surprised about the university's response.
A disturbing symbol of racism found at a prominent Bay Area university. Why some on campus feel the school's response isn't enough.
And the new federal lawsuit just filed against a Bay Area police department after officers shot and killed a man who turned out to be unarmed.
Plus, replacing boarding passes with a face scan, the first in the nation technology being tested in the Bay Area. But what about privacy?
It'll take a little bit of time for us to adjust and to figure out what exactly is going on, like how secure is everything.
Right now on the KPIX 5 News at 7 and streaming on CBSN Bay Area. It was the last thing parishioners of Grace Baptist Church in San Jose wanted to see on Easter Sunday. An intruder spewing hate after hacking into their online church service. Good evening, I'm Elizabeth Cook.
I'm Alan Martin in for Ken Bastida. KPIX 5's Len Ramirez shows us tonight the church is working with the company Zoom to figure out who did it.
Understands that what happened to us on Easter Sunday morning was unconscionable.
It was Reverend George Oliver's first Easter service at Grace Baptist Church, a hybrid outside in-person and online Zoom celebration.
If anyone has a specific prayer request.
He had just opened up the service for anyone online to ask for prayers when two young men crashed in with loud music and a lengthy string of F-bombs and N-words.
Yo, what's up, my monkey noises, dog?
Who's that?
Yo.
Parishioners tried to get the intruders to stop, but it only got worse with attacks on Jews and LGBTQs.
This gay.
I am an out gay black man that is the pastor of this church. I was preaching outside in front of a rainbow banner. That's the day that they chose to bombard this church with anti-Semitic rants, with homophobic and transphobic rants, and with racist rants against African Americans and the Latinx population. This is uncalled for, and we demand justice.
Zoom security tracked down the emails of the intruders and blocked them from the platform. They're also working with the San Jose Police Department, which is investigating the incident as a hate crime.
To hear our youth spitting such hate, that really tells you how deep the hate and the white supremacy is in this community.
It comes just 4 months after 5 people were stabbed, 2 fatally, by a mentally ill person in part of the church providing services for the homeless. The pastor said the hate won't change his ministry, which serves some of the most vulnerable.
This community was selected for a specific reason. And what we are saying is that we will resist that reason and put our faith back on full public display.
And besides the racial comments, there were also apparently threats of violence. And according to some viewers, the hackers didn't even bother to cover their faces. Those images will no doubt become part of the police investigation. One viewer in Arizona said it appeared the suspects were teenage boys. In San Jose, Len Ramirez, KPIX 5.
Well, the San Jose Police Department has just been hit with a federal lawsuit for deadly police shooting. This happened in January at an East San Jose apartment complex. 3 police officers opened fire on David Tovar Jr. He was wanted for murder and multiple shootings. Police believed he was armed. They later claimed they mistook a cell phone he was carrying for a handgun. Tovar's family claims the shooting wasn't justified.
He never looked at those officers, never brandished a weapon at anyone, never made any threatening statements whatsoever.
He wasn't bad like the way they say that he is. I don't know what the police would think. Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking.
San Jose police would not discuss the case today because of the lawsuit.
Tonight, the University of San Francisco is investigating a disturbing discovery, a noose at a dorm. KPIX 5's Andrea Borba on why some students are criticizing the school's response.
The incident happened last month on the 4th floor of student housing here at the University of San Francisco. Student leaders say the administration has not done enough to correct this problem. This noose was seen hanging from a balcony at the University of San Francisco's Loyola Village housing complex on March 30th. Even with only 220 students on campus right now, it was seen and made an impact on the USF population.
She's not surprised about it. I'm not surprised. We're not surprised about the university's response.
The Black Student Union has demanded that the student behind the noose be named and expelled, among other demands. Vice Provost Mary Wardell Garaducci says the student has been removed from housing and already had a hearing, but the investigation into the noose is ongoing.
We are bound by the Department of Education, the U.S. Department of Education I'm talking about, and the legislation of FERPA, which is the right to privacy that all students in any college or university has.
The Vice Provost says the matter is urgent and serious.
It has been a hurtful incident. It is a shameful incident in so many ways because of the potent history of the noose in the United States.
Only 6% of USF student population is Black. The incoming freshman class is 12% Black, the highest percentage ever. Mother Vonda Page says the incident and response are disappointing and upsetting.
And that puts all the Black students in physical and emotional harm as well. And I think it's really pathetic and sad and really actually a disgrace that a Jesuit university wouldn't have more concern over humanity of Black people.
Coming up new tonight on KPIX 5 News at 11 o'clock, hear from the USF Black Student Union about this incident and the administration's response. In San Francisco, Andrea Borba, KPIX 5.
And Chopper 5 over UC Berkeley a little earlier, where a few dozen people gathered to call for an end to attacks on Asians. Some held signs reading "Stop Asian Hate." Organizers also encouraging others to demonstrate their solidarity by standing with the AAPI community and intervening when they see brutal attacks.
Looking live at SFO right now, could scanning your face to get on planes and into venues be the future? KPIX 5's Kenny Choi explains how vaccination passports might work.
It's not just at airports where proof of vaccination is being considered. Other venues like baseball stadiums have already implemented the idea of a vaccine passport. It's become a flashpoint as millions more get inoculated.
So do you have your boarding pass?
Airlines are exploring ways, including mobile apps, that would easily identify who's vaccinated and who's not.
I think it'd probably be beneficial. I think it kind of sends a good message to the community on vaccine adoption, and then also provides a sense of security for businesses who are engaging with those people who are entering their premises.
You're going to be the second group to board.
At San Francisco International Airport, United Airlines and SETA's SmartPass are testing biometric technology for some domestic flights on a voluntary basis. Once enrolled, these checkpoints will scan your face, transferring information and your data, making travel for the most part touchless.
Any purpose for travel where you need to establish or verify identity, this could be used for that.
For now, the check-in system does not ask for or store vaccination status, but the technology can one day be used for that purpose.
Some type of digital health credential will be the next evolution of air travel during this pandemic and after this pandemic.
It'll take a little bit of time for us to adjust and to figure out what exactly is going on, like how secure is everything.
To enter its stadium, the Oakland A's are not asking for proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test. The San Francisco Giants fans will have to show vaccinated status or test negative at its gates starting Friday.
As these tools are being considered by the private and nonprofit sectors, our interest is very simple from the federal government, which is Americans' privacy and rights should be protected, and so that these systems are not used against people unfairly.
Recently, Texas and Florida issued bans on companies using any type of vaccine passports that have contracts with the state. At San Francisco International Airport, Kenny Choi, KPIX 5.
Still to come, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is back here in the Bay Area. Her advice in the middle of all the recent violence.
Listen to what that person has to say, because usually they'll say some nasty thing.
We hope that eventually we can make the classes a little bigger.
New optimism tonight as another Bay Area county moves up into a new tier.
Plus, the shocking speeds that Tiger Woods was apparently hitting right before the recent nasty crash.
Check out these huge lines for a free giveaway in the North Bay, the tool that could save lives this fire season.
Everyone's commenting about how this is a light year for rain, so everyone's worried again.
And no rain in the forecast, but we do have that fog as we look out towards downtown, just lurking behind downtown San Francisco. We're going to track that, and we'll take a look at the weekend forecast coming up. Right along the waterfront. Santa Rosa using a new tactic to get ahead this fire season. It's giving out 12,000 weather radios for free to residents. Those radios providing critical updates in an emergency. The giveaway, thanks to the largest FEMA grant of its kind. The fire department saw a huge turnout today. Those fire crews saying radios like these, crucial to keeping everyone connected, especially if things start to break down during an emergency.
2017, we lost upwards of 68 cell phone towers. We had massive power outages from the infrastructure damage during the fire and during the winds. So the benefit of these radios is that they're pre-programmed, they're ready to receive emergency alerts in Santa Rosa and Sonoma County.
And everyone's commenting about how this is a light year for rain, so everyone's worried again.
Fire department says Sonoma County likely to end up with critically low moisture levels, increasing that fire risk this season. Let's take a live look outside from Treasure Island. Breezy, there were some good whitecaps on the bay earlier, but certainly not seeing the fire threat just yet.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagan's here. And Paul, back to those radios, seems like the perfect thing to put in your earthquake kit or your emergency kit there at home. How can people find one if they couldn't get one for free today?
Yeah, it's really easy. They sell them on Amazon. Now, through Severe Weather Country, they sell them in pretty much every big box store. You can even get them at like Walgreens and CVS, but just search
each weather radio on Amazon. They run for about $30. So it's a nice thing to have, especially if the cell phone towers go down. Plan for the worst, hope for the best. That's always good advice. Remaining dry as we head through the next several days. That's a concern as we head towards fire season. It's going to be breezy at times. That onshore wind is still going to be with us, but shifting just a little bit. So some minor changes to the forecast tomorrow and Friday. Temperatures are going to warm up slightly and then warmer than that as we head into this weekend, especially around the bay and farther inland. Not too much change right along the coast. Let's take a look at Futurecast, and it shows that fog spreading out as we head through the rest of tonight. But the difference tomorrow is that it's going to dissipate pretty quickly. The wind, instead of being directly onshore, is going to be running more parallel to the coast. It doesn't seem like a huge difference maker. It won't be if you live right along the coast, but around the bay and farther inland, it means that that direct onshore wind isn't going to be with us to lock the fog in place, and so we're going to clear out a little faster, and our temperatures are going to be able to warm up. Let's check out the Futurecast wind gusts. It's still breezy out there right now. 15 to 20 mile an hour gusts possible between now and midnight, and still some gusty winds along the coast early tomorrow, while inland things are going to be quite a bit calmer. Those winds will pick up tomorrow afternoon, but again, it's going to be more parallel to the coast instead of directly onshore. It's a subtle change, but it does make a difference. Beautiful shot as we look towards the Golden Gate right now as the sun is going down behind the fog bank. Temperatures on the cool side in the 50s across the board, only 51 downtown. The best we can do is 59 degrees right now in Concord. Pretty much everybody ends up in the 40s by early tomorrow morning. Upper 30s for the valleys of the North Bay, otherwise low to mid 40s inland with mid to upper 40s around the bay. And then we warm up slightly more than we did today. The high temperature in the city was only in the mid 50s today. We should be past that by noon tomorrow with a high by early afternoon around 60. And then the temperatures drop off a little bit as we head into the evening. Santa Rosa, a chilly start, upper 30s, but you warm up into the low 70s tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures in Concord also reach up into the low 70s with plenty of sunshine. Inland parts of the Bay Area, mostly low 70s tomorrow, but the exception to that is going to be San Jose. Other places in the Santa Clara Valley, you're only going to get up to the upper 60s because of that northwesterly wind just grabbing some cool water from over the bay and sending it right down into the Santa Clara Valley. So temperatures across the board slightly warmer than today, but still much cooler along the coast and still only low to mid 60s around the bay. Similar temperatures on Friday, then we warm up to the mid 60s near the bay Saturday and Sunday with similar temperatures next week, mid to upper 70s farther inland, and that warmer air is going to stick around through at least the first half of next week. We don't have any rain chances in the 7-day forecast. We'll take a look at the really long-range rain outlook coming up at 11 o'clock.
All right, we'll look for that warm-up. Thanks.
Well, here's a look at your top headlines. Tonight, investigators say Tiger Woods was driving twice the speed limit before that severe car crash in February. The LA Sheriff's Department says the golfer was driving up to 87 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. They say he never used the brake and likely mistook the gas pedal for the brake before the wreck.
There was no odor of alcohol. There were no open containers in the vehicle. And there were no narcotics or any evidence of medication in the vehicle or on his person.
Taking a live look at the White House this evening, tomorrow President Biden is set to unveil a series of executive actions addressing gun violence. Meanwhile, the president spent the day trying to rally support for his infrastructure plan. The multi-trillion-dollar proposal aims to upgrade roads and bridges as well as broadband.
It's the single largest investment in American jobs since World War II. And it's a plan that puts millions of Americans to work to fix what's broken in our country.
Looking live at San Francisco right now, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi made a stop in Chinatown today. She talked about legislation being proposed to combat hate crimes. And she advised that anyone who witnesses an attack should write down what the perpetrator says.
Listen to what that person has to say, because usually they'll say some nasty thing because they're doing some very nasty thing.
And Alan, the House Speaker, was also promoting health care help included in the American Rescue Plan.
All right, thanks, Liz. Up next, the 3 Bay Area counties that can now dramatically expand their reopenings tonight. Plus, the A's are back in business tonight. Their exciting first win. Also, some extra inning drama for the Giants as well. Then later, the Warriors aren't having the greatest season, but it doesn't seem to matter to one of the younger guys on the team.
Man, that was fun as hell. Excuse my language.
Well, tonight, 3 more Bay Area counties are in the orange tier: Contra Costa, Napa, and Sonoma. So that leaves only Solano stuck in the red. Wineries, breweries, gyms will now be able to operate with 25% capacity indoors. Orange Theory in Walnut Creek says it's only been open a week, and already, well, the classes have a wait list.
We hope that eventually we can make the classes a little bigger, because we are starting to get some wait lists, and people are more comfortable coming back, I think.
Also under the orange tier, movie theaters, places of worship, and restaurants will be able to have 50% indoor capacity. And for a list of what has reopened in York County and across the Bay Area, head to KPIX.com.
The A's are now 1-6 tonight after pulling off their first win of the season in exciting fashion. They took on the Dodgers at the Coliseum this afternoon. The A's were able to tie the game in the 9th inning and then win it in the 10th, thanks to a walk-off base hit by the new guy, Mitch Moreland. The A's now hit the road for a series in Houston.
Let's keep it going. You can't forget about the Giants. They also won after an extra inning thriller. Donovan Solano able to hit it deep enough to score Alex Dickerson in the 10th for the win. The Giants are now 3-3 on the season. Home opener Friday against the Rockies at Oracle. But still to come, win or lose, one of the Warriors rookies appears to be having the time of his life.
If you love the giant coastal redwoods at MUIR Woods, and who doesn't, and have a knack for photography, listen up. You can enter the MUIR Woods photo contest. You can submit your best photo of the National Monument on the MUIR Woods Twitter page. Photos can be of trees, trails, wildlife, or even your family enjoying the beautiful scenery.
Well, the Warriors got just their second win in their last 9 games last night. But their rookie center, James Wiseman, had a pretty big first half. 10 points, 11 rebounds, catching lobs all over the place. Alley-oop. The 20-year-old still a work in progress, but clearly he is enjoying life in the NBA right now.
James, how much fun did you have in that first half? Man, that was fun as hell. Excuse my language, but it was fun. I was super excited.
One quick thing, James, Draymond just fined you $2,500 for using profanity in the press conference. So yeah, so we'll get that tomorrow from you.
20 years old, playing for the Warriors.
$2,500 is nothing compared to what his mama's going to do when she teaches that.
That's right.
No way.
Was not worth it. Well, thank you for watching. The news continues streaming on CBS Bay Area.
We're back at 11. Have a good night.